Hello, everyone, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark,
Rob?
and today we're going to talk about the fact that Caitlin Clark was named to two lists from Forbes, one of the world's most powerful women in the top 100 in 2024, and they're 30 and 30 in the sports category. So, hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. Hit the notification bell when you do, so you get notified of our next video. So Forbes had two different awards that they gave her, Rob. And we'll do the other one, the second one first, which is 30 under 30. So that's the best athletes or the most influential athletes, I'm not sure which, of under the age of 30 and their top 30. And they do that in 20 different categories throughout society, and sports is one of them. And she made that list. And there's not really much to talk about. I think it's obvious she should be on that list. They did put her on that list. The other list she made is not as obvious, but I do believe it doesn't surprise me at all that she made the list. She's one of the world's 100 most powerful women in 2024, because that's not just sports, it's just overall. So that's why I'm saying it's not a definite thing that she would have been on that list. But I think it makes sense given how much of an influence she has on society right now and how much money she's making in terms of sports and stuff like that. And in the article, they said some interesting things. After leading Iowa to the NCAA women's finals, which was watched by a record 18.7 million viewers, making it one of the most watched games in college basketball history and surpassed the men's final for the first time, Clark went on to become the number one pick in the 2024 WNBA draft. In the first season there, she continued making history, rookie records for most points and assists, rookie of the year. And then this is what they have to say in the article, Rob. Alongside draft class members Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, and Camila Cardoza, Clark is credited with driving record 54 million viewers to ABC, NBC, ESPN, and their cable pairs to watch the WNBA's regular season. It's almost like the WNBA emailed their script again to Forbes magazine. I don't know what to say, Rob.
What the hell?
This is not a question about the rookie class. This was an award for Caitlin Clark. Why are they dragging in four rookies who barely had anything to do with the record viewers that was on ABC? Caitlin Clark, 19 out of the 22 were million viewers were because of her. And one, she was a lead in, one, she was the game after it, So unbelievable that they had to drag these other people. Cameron Brink only lasted 9 games, whatever.
What are you bringing those people in for? It's a word
I
for
don't
her.
know.
But we also have these people over here. We have these people over here who well, you do something separate. Let that be a separate thing. This is let her have her. They can't let her have her shine. They can't let her have her time.
No, it's about her. It's not about the rookie class. Stop it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That was one interesting part about the article, Rob. That bothered me because it wasn't the WNBA saying this. It was like a separate entity. Okay. They went on. All that attention is also lucrative. Over the summer, the WNBA struck an 11-year, $2.2 billion media rights deal with Disney, Amazon, and NBC. A basketball player has never made the ranks of the Forbes list of the world's 100 most powerful women. Serena Williams made it. She's a tennis ace, obviously. And that was it. But the 22-year-old Clark was a driving force in a game-changing year for women's sports, which that part is true. The year marked the first time there was a gender parity in the number of Olympic athletes competing in the games. U.S. women's soccer closed its 2024 season with the most watched championship game in national WSL history. Angel City FC became the highest valued women's professional sports team at $250 million, which is impressive. It's a growth spurt that is long overdue. Dawn Staley, they quoted her, and she said that the momentum behind women's sports has been building for so long that it's finally uncontrollable. Well, I'm not sure that's true. But it also takes a singular figure to truly galvanize consumer interest. And what she said was, I think sometimes you need a unifier. I think Caitlin Clark has done a tremendous job at being that person people want to see. She's brought a different set of eyeballs to her game. Well, then why didn't you put her on the Olympic team? You knew she was good enough, and you knew she could have unified everything involving sports and the Olympics and women's basketball. Would have made the WNBA more popular. Would have made women's sports more popular. Dawn, you knew she was good enough. Why didn't you put her on the team? She's a hypocrite.
All these people are the afterthoughts. They come in at afterthoughts after the season, after they saw what she did. They knew she was going to be like that. The whole thing, Mark, they knew that. I mean, we knew. We didn't know how well she was going to be, or how she was going to do, but we knew she was going to make a big impact on the WNBA. We knew. We're not, we're just average Joes. We'll watch, and some people just picking up college basketball. But I mean, how can you not know when you're in the sport and you've seen her play and seen all this, and now after the season, all of a sudden this light goes off like, hey, she's gonna change the game. Yeah, well, of course. Why you could see that your own self. You're a freaking basketball player. You saw all that. You're a coach, basketball player, whatever. And now the WNBA's they're coming out, or these other people are coming out of the woodwork again. Like, oh, gee, yeah, Caitlin Clark's pretty good. No, get off the bandwagon. We don't need you. You weren't there before, so what you say doesn't count.
It kills me because Dawn Staley is seen as someone who sticks up for women's rights and minority rights. And yet she didn't stick up for Caitlin Clark's rights and put her on the Olympic team. No. And she hurt women's popularity in sports and the WNBA and women's basketball in general by keeping her off the team. She was one of the 10 people that kept her off the team. And she knew she belonged on that team talent-wise. And she kept her off for reasons that we all know that existed, because she was going to get too much attention and take away from the other women. And so if she knew she was such a unifier, why did you keep her off the team?
Coming out here with the statements, forget you. We don't need you. Whatever, Dawn. Whatever, Dawn. We don't really care. I mean, seriously, I wouldn't care what she says, because you weren't there in the beginning, so now you're jumping on the bandwagon. So go away.
Right. I found it interesting, Rob, in this article is they mentioned the Olympics like 3 different times in the article. They mentioned other Olympic stars like Simone Biles and Katie Ledecky, and they mentioned coaches like Cheryl Reeve, who's a disaster for promoting women's sports, and Emma Hayes, who did coach the women's soccer team to a championship. She deserves attention. Yeah. But then there's also a quote from a guy he's actually has to do with a consulting group that leads Deloitte's global and U.S. sports practices and serving multiple sports clients. Anyways, he made a comment that I think Caitlin Clark is done and what she did this year is extraordinary, I do think it's part of a broader narrative, not just within basketball, but across Olympics. And he said, I think we're just beginning to see a new normal in women's sports. I'm not sure, but he also said that Caitlin Clark will get paid more like Victor W. when companies spend 50% of the marketing dollars in women's sports. Well, that's never going to happen, at least not in the next couple of centuries, because there's too many men's team sports that women don't even play, like baseball and football right now. And they're just not going to catch up. But I find it interesting. They mentioned the Olympics like 3 different times in this article, yet they kept Caitlin Clark off the Olympic team. That would have helped make women's sports more popular and women's basketball more popular with the promotion she would have got by being on the team. And she deserved to be on the team. So I find that interesting.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, I think it's great she's on the list, because this is not a sports list. And this is like worldwide top 100. And it's not under 30. It's top 100 women in the Forbes list, most powerful women. And I think she is powerful. I think it's clear that she's powerful. And I think it was a good choice. It didn't surprise me at all that she made this list. And there's probably a couple other lists she's going to make too now. Right. Go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
They're trying to get her to play the 3-on-3 off of throwing big money at her. So she's powerful. They need her. That 3-on-3 league needed her. And because no one's going to watch it either way, even if she was there, but no one's going to watch this without her. So they're trying to pay. We'll pay you this money. Come on, complete. We got your friends here on the team too. See, we have some of your friends. Come and play with. No, I don't need to play. I like her. She's like, I don't need you. You need me. So go have your little 3-on-3 league. Have fun.
Right. And they thought they didn't need her in the Olympics, but they really did. They almost lost to a mediocre French team. And it was Dawn Staley's fault. And Dawn Staley definitely had an influence on that. And Dawn Staley, after she lost to Caitlin Clark's junior year, she didn't say anything positive about Caitlin Clark. She waited till her team beat Caitlin Clark her senior year before she finally said something positive about Caitlin Clark, and she said, "Oh, her time will come." Yeah, all right. You know what happened before. We know that other players got there after their senior year in college and put on the team the first year. So it was silly what they did, and she was part of it, and I don't like her, and so that's just me.
Well, in the long run, Mark, like we said, when people do that to you, do stuff to you, and what you went through, it's and now it's coming out, and she's she's the one who's going to have the last laugh, because she's going to just, like you said, blossom and both in media and definitely in her sport, which they tie together, and all those people that were hating her and discounting her, and this includes the WNBA. She's playing for her boss, her own boss. It doesn't even recognize her when she was playing. I think it's going to fall back, and it is. It's going right back in their faces.
Well, it looks like sky is up for Caitlin Clark, and hopefully this year they'll have a very successful season in WNBA with the new coach, and I'm looking forward to it. That's all I can say. I hope she gets MVP, which I think she will, and I hope they get a championship.
Well, you already got her as MVP. What are you talking about, Mark? She's already MVP. You already have her.
I've already voted for her, yeah. They told me last year I could vote for someone in the second game of the season, so I said, well, I'm just going to do it in the preseason.
Yeah, why? Yeah, you're not going to wait. Yeah, why wait?
Why not? Why they moved it back from midseason to the second game of the season, so I'm moving it back from the second game of the season to preseason. That's a smaller jump than what they did.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see what happens. She's actually is second favorite. Asia Wilson is actually the favorite, but we'll see. I think Caitlin Clark should be the favorite. So we'll see what happens. That's my prediction anyways. I'm not going to predict the team because I don't know what free agents they're going to pick up. So I'm not going to predict they're going to win a championship this year. But they will with that team at some point. They got the right coach.
Yeah.
So Title IX has existed for almost 50 years, 1972. I guess 52 years. And that prohibits sex discrimination in education programs and activities that receive federal funding. And that has to do a lot of times with the universities. And that's why women's sports has grown, because more money was put into it. So I think that's a good sign. And I think it's good for people to play sports, and especially women. And I think the growth for women's sports will be great. And I think this is a big year for women's sports. Maybe not as big as people are saying, but I think it's a big growth for women's sports. And I think Caitlin Clark had a lot to do with that. So she definitely deserved this award. So, and let us know what you think down below. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that notification bell when you do and make Rob happy so you get notified of our next videos. And if you want to discuss this on our live show, it's every Monday except for major holidays, 6 to 8 Eastern time. You can call in for that show, so it's pretty cool. If you want to donate to this channel, you can with super chats, super thanks down below, and there's a link to PayPal. We'll see you in the next video.
Peace out.